So here we are,
Here we are.
kind of a fall evening.
Yeah, kind of cold.
Not that cold. Could get a lot colder pretty soon.
True.
So what are we doing sitting here?
Well, we figured we would get a head start on winter, the cold season.
So we've been doing what, like bringing in firewood and stuff?
Yep. We got some firewood brought in and pick up a few things around the yard.
There's a lot more to do out there. So what are we up to tonight then, if we're going to do something cozy?
Well, I figured since it's a little bit cool tonight, we would start a fire.
Okay, well that's not very exciting. We have fires all the time.
Well, what should we do besides having a fire?
You did tell me that you were going to bring some strawberries and chocolate and some hot cocoa in for the fire.
Ooh.
So that'd be a tasty vlog.
Let's do a tasty vlog tonight then.
Okay, so what are you going to take a photo of?
How about, well, let's surprise them.
Okay, well, I guess you got to start a fire then.
Let's start a fire. Looks good. Got my shot. I like it.
Good. Now you want me to do it?
Now it's your turn.
So how'd that turn out?
Awesome.
When you set your camera down, what just about happened?
Well, it wasn't so awesome. I had the quick release plate on the bottom, and I set it down on the table, and it almost fell off the table.
I thought I was going to have to make a diving catch and then go for a Lambo leap.
Well,
Or I was going to see a very expensive camera hit the ground and explode like a fiery crash in a Hollywood movie. So you want me to get my camera and take a shot too?
it's your turn.
Okay. Yeah, sure, all the whipped cream is melting down now. So Denise's 1DC with the 135 has no image stabilization and a longer focal length, so she needed to use a tripod. She put that camera on the tripod, and she used a 2-second delay on the shutter, so when she released the shutter, she could take her hands off the camera to minimize camera shake, and then after 2 seconds the camera released the shutter and she got her picture. This lens, the 16-35 f4 LIS, has IS, image stabilization. So combined with the image stabilization and the very wide field of view on this camera, I am much less prone to camera shake, so I'm going to handhold this shot. So I'm now going to be using shutter priority for this shot. I'm going to use 1/40th of a second. The camera is going to automatically set this at f4, and we'll see what happens. Now f4 is blinking on my viewfinder because when I'm pointed away from my shot, it actually thinks it's too dark, but we'll see how this goes. So I guess I need some more whipped
You
cream.
want to just take a test shot first?
I'll take a test shot first.
Take it. Otherwise, your hot cocoa is going to have a lot of whipped cream in it.
Okay, so yeah, well, that's not a problem if I got a lot of whipped cream in my hot cocoa. So f4 with an ISO of 100 and a shutter of 1/40th, really, really underexposed. So now I'll go to manual, and I'll just do a manual light meter reading, and we'll do it the old-fashioned way, full-on manual. So I still want to be at 1/40th. And I think I'm just going to have to adjust my ISO. So at 400 ISO, it's still underexposed. So go to 800, still underexposed. 1600, and we're still underexposed. So now I'm going to have to have a longer shutter speed here. Going on to 1/20th, and now we're getting somewhere. So I'm going to be at 3200 ISO, and that's still going to underexpose a little bit, so I'm going to get a longer shutter here, 1/13th. And now we're about right. Alright, now for this shot I'm going to be having a much longer exposure. And I'm now in focus. I'm at f7.1 and 13 seconds of exposure. So I'm going to squeeze the shutter, take my hand away, and the camera's going to do the rest. And I think that's very nice. Now I'm going to reduce that exposure time just a little bit because I want it a little darker, a little moodier. So we're going to go down to an 8-second exposure. Same shot. I think I can speed that up a little more. So now I'll be at f8 and a 6-second exposure. Very nice. I'm losing my whipped cream, but I think I got the shot. There we go, some photos.
Some photos.
And we got some hissing going on over in the other room. The cats are interacting.
Yeah.
They thought this was pretty exciting. Well, there was a stray cat outside before we started this, and that caused some anxious minutes.
Yeah, another orange one.
Yep. That made Pixel get a little fired up.
Mm-hmm. Which usually happens with any cat with him.
Yep. And then, so his brother was downstairs looking like kind of terrified and hiding behind the furnace after that.
Yep. It's always exciting around here.
But we did our photos.
Yeah. And you think we actually can sit down for half an hour, at least a half an hour tonight, and
oh no,
drink our hot cocoa?
You got to get to work editing the video.
I think we can spare a half an hour.
Can you sit by the fire for a little while?
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah. Well, how do you think your photo turned out?
I think it turned out good.
Think it turned out good?
How about you?
Well, yeah, I looked at your photo. I don't notice you used a really wide aperture for your photo, f2, right?
Mm-hmm, I
So,
did.
what do you think of the shallow depth of field in that type of photo?
I don't know. I always love shallow depth of the field. So.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be shallow in this photo.
It's going to be pretty shallow. I suppose I should have stopped it down a little bit, huh?
Then you'd have a longer time your shutter's open, and you'd have the problem that I had.
That's true.
And the problem I had was I was doing a 8-second exposure for what I thought was going to be the perfect picture. One of the cats was playing with a toy and bumped into the tripod.
Oh, well.
So
it's a challenge.
there's a little motion blur in that one.
Yeah, well.
Or vibration, I should say. A little vibration in that photo.
Yep.
Well, that's our vlog for tonight. I think it's time to call it a break, huh?
Let's take a break, huh?
We've been busy since, I think, 5:30 this morning. You were, who knows what time you got up?
What?
3 in the morning, probably.
Probably.
So Denise has been busy since about 3 in the morning. She's got to go to bed.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how long I sit out here on the couch before I fall asleep.
Not long. So that's the vlog. Thanks for watching.
Yep. Please come back for more of our October challenges. Like, subscribe, and comment.
Bye.
Bye. Should we have this behind us? It's kind of Christmassy.
Yeah. It's
Cold
kind of
one.
Christmassy.
Cold and wintry.
I don't even know what it is. Angry birds or what?
No, it's little owls.
Well, those are birds and maybe they're angry.